Going to the cinema to watch films like these and having a tub of popcorn, a thing of the past.
This world is not yet ready for all that you will do. Your time will come, Diana. And everything will be different.
लैट्रिन जाना हो तो मिश्रा जी की फैमिली के साथ जॉइंट टॉयलेट।
लेकिन हमें पता नहीं था कि आप इतने गरीब हैं।
You've already made many great sacrifices.
My father cannot fight, so I will take his place.
Those are the trailers for Wonder Woman 1984, Gulabo Sitaba, which is a great film, and Mulan. They all have one thing in common. None of them made their debut on the silver screen. Many cinemas, of course, are being closed because of the pandemic. Well, now the world's largest cinema chain, AMC, is in urgent talks with one of the world's largest film studios, Warner Brothers, after it said all its films next year will be streamable at home in the US as soon as they're released. It's a crucial moment for the industry. Here with his thoughts is the film critic and film industry expert, James Luxford.
Amid all of the headlines about this sort of Darwinian perspective of streaming killing the cinemas, I think it's pragmatism. I think at the moment we all don't know what's coming. When the global pandemic started in March, people were looking to August with obviously the release of Tenet to really relaunch cinemas. It didn't bring back cinemas in the way they'd hoped. So this is pragmatism. It is looking at the situation we probably have through 2021, and I think the situation in America, where I think the recovery might be a little more slow to come.
But we've seen this before, haven't we, with Universal Films saying something similar. They withdrew it in the end because of pressure from cinemas like AMC. Could that happen again here?
Well, Universal have struck a deal where the theatrical window is shortened. I do think the deal with HBO Max is to, I suppose, launch a service more than redefine what cinema is.
Let's take some of those really big films. The Bond film, Fantastic Beasts. Do you think that we'll be watching those where we can stream them and go to the cinema at the same time, or will they be in the cinema first?
I think it's always difficult to predict anything after, the year we've been through, but I think there's no coincidence that the big hitters on Warner Brothers' slate, The Batman with Robert Pattinson, Fantastic Beasts, as you said, John Wick, they've all been moved to 2022. They've not been affected by this deal. I certainly think if Warners see a huge amount of success and uptick in subscribers with this deal, they might consider using this model. But I don't think any movie studio is going to be eager to walk away from that kind of audience, that kind of money.
We're talking about Hollywood here. Let's look at the global film industry, because that's huge as well. There have been parts of the world where cinemas have been open. China. What can we learn from there?
Well, China seemed to have a real influx of interest in people going back to the cinema when people felt a little safer to come in to the cinemas. Chiefly, of course, the first movie in I don't know how long to top the worldwide box office that wasn't from Hollywood. The 800 looks safe to be the biggest selling movie of 2020, and that was a very nostalgic historical war epic from China, and most of that money came from China. Over in Japan, we've just had the recent news that the animated movie Demon Slayer has become the second highest grossing film of all time, second only to Titanic in 1997. That's, of course, domestically. So those indicate that there is an appetite for people to come back to the cinema in countries where the recovery has maybe been a little more swift. And I think this deal with HBO Max is as much about Warner's confidence in the speed of America getting back to quote-unquote normal as it is trying to disrupt the medium.
The film critic James Luxford there on the future of the cinema industry, the future of the popcorn industry, which of course is related to it. That is it for this edition of World Business Report.